Hello everyone. Today I was inspired to make a video not only because of this amazing weather that we're having today, but because of an experience that I had last night. So I know when a lot of people are coming, into the awakening side of things, or into regaining their psychic gifts, a lot of people are concerned with seeing big shadow people and other lower vibration entities and energies or thought forms. So I'm just going to preface this whole thing by saying that for as long as I can remember, I've been able to see both clairvoyantly and physically, and also sense and feel non-physical energy. It's just something that I've always had, and probably about when I was when I was a teenager, probably around 14 or 15, I started seeing shadow people. And at first it got to a point where I was completely terrified with what I saw, but as I started getting older, I kind of got used to it, and probably I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago, I got to a place where I was actually able to just kind of make them go away. And the way that I did that was I used to recite the Lord's Prayer or other Bible verses, and they just go away, or I'd laugh. I don't know, sometimes they do things. I was like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. And I'd laugh, and they'd be like, what? And then they'd just leave. So I got to that point, and I'd say since I've really been working on my spiritual expansion, they've gone from terrifying me to kind of being scary to just being annoying. So, at the point, a younger brother or sister will kind of annoy you, if they bother me, I'm just like, get out of here, go away. And that was up until last night. So, just to give you a little bit of background on what happened most recently, I have been doing a juiced feast, and one of the main reasons for doing that is so that I could raise my vibration. So we all know that when you are working on further raising your vibration, things are going to come to the surface to be released. Lower vibration things are going to come to the surface to be acknowledged. After you acknowledge that, you feel them, you acknowledge them, and then you release them. That's the whole purpose of expansion. So, and you do that so that you can hold more light and hold a permanent, have your vibration be at a higher place. So, in doing this juice detox, this juice feast, part of the reason I've been doing it was to raise my vibration. I have noticed that it's been raising, and a lot of wonderful things have been happening. I'll probably do a different video that gets more into that. But one thing that I did recognize or notice was the fact that shadow entities, shadow beings, and other low vibration beings were starting to kind of trying to get my attention in the astral realm, and then also here in 3D as well. So, they'd been a bit of annoyance, but last night was completely different. So last night I was in a state that was it was a lucid dream, but I had a complete awareness of the room and of my body back in 3D. So I was dreaming that I was at a friend's house, and I was leaving, and the whole setting of the dream, it kind of felt like a conglomerate of all of the Real Housewives mixed together, just in the interaction. It was just very, very inauthentic interaction in the dream. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own skin at all in this dream state that I was in. So as I'm leaving my friend's house, it's at night, and the porch lights are on. As soon as my friend shuts the door, the lights go off. And I think, oh, that's weird. Normally the motion sensing lights come on when someone comes outside as opposed to going off. So I start to walk to my left to head to my car to move forward, move from the place that I'm leaving, and then all of a sudden this block just appears out of nowhere. It's literally blocking my path. I can't leave. It's like a little gate shoots up, and then all of a sudden there's a straight drop off into nothingness on the side. So I turn to go to the other way, to go down some stairs to get to move forward and get to my car. And all of a sudden there's this goat being there, this goat entity, and it had like red eyes. It wasn't a very big entity. It was really quite small. And then all of a sudden it just charges me, straight up charges me, knocks me down to the floor, and this thing is just attacking me. And as it's like, I can feel it. I can physically feel it. Like this thing is like biting me, and it feels as though it's biting me to the point where it's like drawing blood. So I go into this completely neutral space where I'm just observing what is happening to me. I'm not adding any meaning to it whatsoever. And then all of a sudden I get this thought in my head, like I can feel it. It like moves down to my hands, like I can't move. It moves down to my hands, and I feel like it's gonna bite off one of my fingers. So I think that I was like, what do I do? And all of a sudden, I just got this thought. It said, "Love it." So I went to this space where I just felt this complete sense of love and compassion for this being, and the song that we used to sing in Christian private school when I was like probably in like second or third grade just popped into my head, and the lyrics are to Bible verses in 1 John. It's 1 John verses I think it's 1 John chapter 4, then verses 7 and 8. And so this song was playing, and the lyrics, for those of you who don't know, the lyrics to the song, the Bible verses are, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Beloved, let us love one another." And as soon as that started playing, as soon as I got through the first couple of words, all of a sudden this golden light just blasted through the darkness. It broke through the darkness, and I just started feeling the smoothness and this amazing unconditional love for this being, and I also felt unconditional love being shot back at me. And then when I realized it was a very familiar vibration, and I recognize it as my main spirit guide. So I feel I can physically feel something like wrapping itself from behind around my waist. And when that happens, I like close my eyes, and then I open them again, and like I realize that the entity is no longer attacking me. I look at it, and it's a puppy. So it turned into a little puppy. Then the thing that jarred me out of sleep wasn't the experience. It was the fact that like then I felt someone tucking my physical body into bed, like a parent tucks in like a little kid, like a little toddler, when they're getting ready for sleep, when they're doing their sleep routine at night. So I felt someone like tucking me in bed, and that like kind of startled me awake a bit. And I sleep with a sleep mask on just because it puts you, it's complete darkness, so it helps your body produce melatonin, which really is great for sleep. It's also great for your third eye. So I have my eyes open underneath the mask, and my room is completely lit up in that golden light. It's still lit up in that golden light. I can still feel myself being tucked in. As soon as I flip my eye mask up, then the room is back to darkness. So I kind of sit there and I kind of assess the situation, and I came to the conclusion that this situation, it was a positive experience. It's completely positive. So if you look at what entities and shadow beings and shadow people really are, they are thought forms. They are thought forms that arise from fear. That's how they're born. That's how they're born. And they also they literally feed off of fear. That's what they eat. That's what they consume. That's how they sustain themselves. So anyone who experiences fear, you could have those entities around you at any point. So I sat there and I thought about that, and I decided to assess what is going on within me that would allow me to allow something like that to come into my experience. What's going on here. So I thought about it, and I looked at the dream as a whole. I went through the dream step by step, and I realized the dream was about me still having a fear about being authentic, about being my true self. And it's a small fear. It's not as big as it used to be, because I'm definitely much more authentic and much more into who I truly am now than I have ever been. And this fear just stems from the fact that even as a child, basically, I was born awake. So I had a complete awareness of everything behind the veil. I had a complete awareness of the fact that we are multidimensional beings. I was able to see into other realms, into other dimensions and parallel universes. And the fear stemmed from the fact that, you go and you ask your parents, well, why is there a house in our backyard and they can't see it? Or if you look at the playground, like, why are we like sitting in someone's house right now? Or ask your parents about, different dimensions and all of that. And they kind of like give you this look, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're different. And people kind of start singling you out, and you just kind of get the vibration of their reaction towards it. So over time, this fear of being who you really are, it builds up inside of you because you're not getting positive reactions. So I always had this fear, but since I've really gotten into my spiritual journey, I've let it go, or so I thought. So it came back as what's called an echo. So it was a blessing. It showed me that I still harbor a small amount of fear with regard to being truly authentic and living in my authenticity. So that's just something that I realized that I have to work on, and by way of allowing myself to feel my way through that situation and literally acknowledge it, I was able to release it. And today I feel so much lighter, I feel brighter, and I can physically feel that my vibration has been raised. And it's absolutely amazing. So for those of you who experience it, I would say it's the way that Source, if you have to look at it from Source's perspective. From Source's perspective, everything that occurs is completely neutral. We add meaning to it. So what you need to do is determine whether or not you're going to add a positive meaning to it or a negative meaning to it. Bearing in mind that if you put a negative meaning to it, then you're going to attract more situations like that. If you put a positive perspective or a positive meaning, add positive meaning to what you experience, then you're going to get more positivity back. So just wanted to share that all with you guys, and I hope you're enjoying your week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.